I apologize. I was a couple minutes late. I just came off a live broadcast with a really cool guy who actually made Kim Kardashian and Logan Paul and Paris Hilton famous. And he was just talking about how he started in London running a restaurant when he was 16 and then learned how to kind of use fame to just help in all things in your life. It was a pretty cool conversation. But of course, I'm here to talk about crypto. Crypto is absolutely blowing up and going crazy. Has everybody here been reading the headlines? It's pretty much in every single headline, right? Trump is talking about it. The Trump family has now made more money in crypto than they have in 70 years of real estate. And they've only been doing crypto for about 2 years. Obviously, there's the Trump coin, there's the Melanie coin. They've got World Liberty Financial, which is their DeFi platform. They've got their own stable coin called USD1. Eric Trump, I saw him speak in Toronto a couple months ago. He's building American Bitcoin, which is a mining company. They've got their fingers and toes in so many pies, it's not even funny. And it's nice to know that we're in the right direction because we went all into crypto about 4 years ago. And tonight I want to show you exactly how we're making money behind the scenes. I'm going to show you what you need to pay attention to because here's what's going to happen that no one's telling you. The bull cycle is going to come super fast and super sharp. We believe it's all going to happen somewhere around October. And we think it's going to spike to levels we've never seen before. And we think it's going to come crashing down in what is known as the 4-year cycle or the Bitcoin super cycle. The problem is when you're in the middle of it going up, you think it's never going to end. You think you're the greatest crypto trader in the world, right, Kate? And then all of a sudden, the rug gets pulled out. Now, we were here in 2021, and the same thing happened. Bitcoin hit 69,000. I still remember I was doing my 10-year anniversary show for London Real. We did a 3.5-hour broadcast, and I played clips from like 30 different guests, and it was like memory lane. And we all thought Bitcoin was going to 100,000 by Christmas. Was anybody around then? I know Martini was, right? We were assured it was going to 100,000 for Christmas. First of all, if the whole market thinks something's going to happen, it usually means the opposite's going to happen. And what happened? That was the high. That 10-year anniversary show was the high. And we watched it go from 69,000 down to 16,000, 1.6 in less than a year, about 11 months. And people said crypto was going to zero. You know, they said it was a scam from the CIA. It was aliens built it, whatever. And that ended up not being true. And now it's over 116,000. So look, this is now considered technology that's going to be here for a long time. There's now ETFs, and my old friends from Wall Street, where I used to work, are now investing heavily into this space. So what I want to show you tonight is how we're making money behind the scenes. I'm going to show you 2 deals that we're funding right now so you can see some of the ways that we're creating these massive returns like 10x and 20x and 30x gains. And I'm also going to show you how you need to get in quickly and get out before the party's over and the music stops. How does that sound to everybody here? Good? I'm going to play videos. I'm going to talk about some news headlines I grabbed today. You're all welcome to send me anything in the chat. You can send me a message. Tell me how much you like me. Tell me how much you don't like me. That's okay. I've heard it all. And you can ask me questions about crypto. It's all good. And we'll jump in here. And of course, I'll try to answer some questions at the end. So let's jump into this. Last chance to turn cameras on. Of course, we love to see them. And let me jump into this presentation. Just thumbs. Oh, let me see if I can share this thing. Hold on. Let's see here. There we go. Boom. Thumbs up if everybody can see these 2 good looking guys here who love crypto. There we go. And so here's the new headline. Trump plus the Bitcoin bombshell unleashes crypto prices on what we think is going to be a $50 trillion game changer. And I'll show you exactly what that means. But we had some pretty crazy things happen this week in the Bitcoin space. And it's interesting to see how the market reacted to it. And I want to go deep on that and what Trump is doing in the White House. Before we get started, I just want to say this presentation, it's really for information purposes only. It's not intended to be investment advice. If you are looking for that, please go find a professional. And of course, I want to give you this free gift, which is module 1 of our super premium program that you've heard of, probably called the Investment Club. This is where about 150 of our real close family members are making millions and tens of millions of dollars behind the scenes. And this is module 1. It's how startups raise money on the blockchain. If you're watching this later, you can go to londonreal.tv/download. But if you're here now, I'm about to send you a 19-page PDF document that you can read and watch at your leisure. So if everybody could go to your chat right now in Zoom, I'm about to send you this message. And if you could just reply with a yes, if you've got it, then I'll know if this technology is actually working. Let me just send it to you. Okay, boom, you should have it now. If you can, just reply with a yes. You might have to click the picture of me inside the chat. But did a few people get that here? Joanne, you got it. Okay, Kate got it. A few other people as well. All right, send me a message. Cindy, on point, saying yes. Cindy, you're very good with the tech there. I like that. Okay, nice. So very good. And if anybody else wants to send me a yes, that's great. So watch that in your spare time. But that's just our gift to you, and it'll really show you kind of what we're doing behind the scenes to create these gains. I also want to give you a free video, and that's how to find the hottest crypto pre-sale tokens in 3 easy steps. And I'll give you a link to that video at the end of this presentation. You don't want to miss it. It's going to show you really 3 things that the market isn't telling you on how you can make money. And I'll give you that video at the end of that presentation. Of course, pre-sale tokens is something you're probably like, Brian, what is that? Well, it's this process that really nobody's teaching and no one's giving access to the deal flow, but we are. And what we do is we secretly buy tokens from CEOs of companies that still have not listed on exchanges yet. So these aren't available to anybody in the world. We buy them at these discounted prices, pennies on the dollar. And then when they get listed on one of the big exchanges like a Binance or a Coinbase, all of a sudden 1 million, 10 million people can buy these coins, and the price typically goes up. Now, Martini knows we have one of our investments listing tomorrow. I think it's on Binance, but I can't say. And it's a post-quantum protocol called Naris. And this is a huge, huge piece of technology. They've been working on this for 7 or 8 years. This is the only company we've ever invested that has NATO generals on their board. Now, at first, we weren't sure how to feel about it. And then we thought, well, wow, this must be a serious company, because countries around the world are preparing for what happens when quantum computers come. Does anybody know what a quantum computer is? Just raise your hand. Have you heard about these things? They're basically these computers that can, Madeline knows, check out the big brain on Madeline. All right, I like it. And so what it is it's these computers that can solve certain problems really fast. And breaking passwords in cryptography, it can do like while it's sleeping. And if that happens, basically all your crypto is going to be able to be stolen. All your passwords are going to be able to cracked. All cybersecurity is worthless, which means the whole world will go into mayhem. And so everyone's going to have to prepare for this. And this company, Naris, is going to go live tomorrow. And we expect the token to spike and all of our members to make a lot of money. And I'll explain this more lately. By the way, did anyone heard of this crypto called Solana? Has anyone heard of that coin? Kate or Sherry or Joanne, Kate McNeely knows. It's like the 5th largest crypto out there. And a lot of people don't realize that you could have bought this as a pre-sale token for 4 pennies, 4 pennies on the dollar. It trades now around $200. And if you do the math, you'll understand that if you had put $1,000 in this pre-sale token investment just a few years ago, that one investment will be worth $5 million. Now, who here could use an extra $5 million? Anybody here? Kate Jones, Joanne's in, Madeline's like, give me 2. Okay, I like it. Sherry Smith, I see a hand there. Okay, look, $5 million, you know, it buys you a lot of freedom, is what I like to say. All right. And so what I want to give all of you is, you know, enough generational wealth to give you the choices and the freedom to quit your job if you want to start your own business, maybe to put your grandkids through college. And that's really what we're trying to do behind the scenes, is create that wealth so you just have more choices. Folks, this is a deal that we signed recently. And what you see here is a snapshot of a thing called a SAFT agreement. That's a legal contract. Can everyone see the blue circle here? Do you see that, Joanne and Cindy? That's our typical ticket size. It's $200,000. Can everyone see the red circle here? That's the price we paid per token. And that's not $1.25. That's actually 1.25 pennies. So we bought these cheaper than the Solana token. Well, what happened? Well, the token was up 20x on launch, and in about 4 hours, we made about $4 million for our members. The company was called Skillful AI. It's actually artificial intelligence built on the blockchain. And this is the CEO named Zoltan here, and he came on the show. And that's what's great about what we do, is that we don't just invest in the companies. When you get an investment from London Real Ventures, your CEO gets to come on the show and promote the company and the token to millions of people around the world. And so everybody wins. Our tokens go up, they're happy, everybody makes money. And it's one of the great value adds, and it's why we've been able to track so many deals. Now, after the call, Zoltan said, Brian, this is going to 100x. Hold on to your tokens. They'll be worth 20 million soon. And I said, okay. And then next he said something strange. He said, I want to join your investment club. I thought this was weird, because here's a guy who's one of the biggest in the space, And I said, Zoltan, surely you see better deals than I do. He said, no, you have such a big media company. You see better deals at cheaper prices and you get the tokens faster. And I thought, wow, I never expected one of our CEOs to want to join. Of course, I said there's only one way to join. That's to book a call with Martini. And she doesn't do discounts. So, I'll leave it with you two. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, he had joined as a full member. And so we're really proud that not only our, London Real family is joining us, people that have followed us for years, but also our portfolio companies. Pretty cool story, right, Kate? Pretty cool, right? And so you'll see Zoltan in there when you come to the calls. He's made about 13 deals so far. This is another investment we made called Shrapnel. And this one did a 20x in 20 days and made our members a $5 million profit. This is a video game that's actually built on the blockchain. These are going to get really popular in the next 3 to 6 months. I was actually on a call with Animoca Brands this morning talking about some of the things that they're coming with at the end of the year. And they're coming out with something big. In fact, we invested in Animoca Brands and their digital ID token called the Mochaverse here. This one has done a 20x for us so far. And here I am with the chairman of Animoca named Yatsu. He really is a visionary. I call him the next Elon Musk, and he's building a $10 billion gaming empire, and we are a part of it. Next is our Story Protocol investment. This did a 22x, and here's where we invested with some really big money. There's a VC firm called Andreessen Horowitz, and these guys are the biggest in the business. And just to give you an idea, if you had put $10,000 on this deal, it would be worth nearly $250,000. So it's a real return that can really change your life with just a few investments. This was one of our first meme coins, did a 14x. And one of our members, Christina, and her mom put $30,000 in this deal. They woke up to a $420,000 profit. Does anybody want to wake up to that tomorrow? Pretty cool, right? She thought her phone was broken, but it was correct. And so there's some real game-changing money to be made. And this is a $1 billion fund that we invested in called 1RT. This is the fund manager on the bottom left named Dan Tapiero. He's considered the best trader in the world, really, and I've met them all. And he's already taken a very conservative fund that only invests in stocks in this ecosystem and has done a 4x on it. And you can see all the companies here in his portfolio. And it seems like every week one of them is doing an IPO on the New York Stock Exchange. And here he was on the right with the IPO of Circle, which was the biggest stable coin out there called USDC. And it's one of the companies he invested in big back in the day. We just keep getting some incredible returns on incredible investments. Folks, I want to show you some of our latest deals right now. And this is going to show you two things. First, how we're making a lot of money behind the scenes, but you'll also see the format that we have on Mondays and Thursdays where we actually look at deals. Has anybody been to one of our calls on Monday or Thursday? Kate, you've been there. Kate Dixie's been there. Madeline's been there. Lul's been there. You really got to come. They're a lot of fun. It's like Shark Tank for crypto, and it's more fun, than those old folks do it in America. We like to keep it fresh. And on Mondays at 7 p.m. or Thursdays at 6 p.m., you can see us basically get pitched the hottest deals in the world. And then we choose as a community with our thumbs up or thumbs down whether they get invested in. We've got one tomorrow that you're welcome to come to at 6 p.m. and get a flavor. And you can learn a lot too. Now, look, some of the terms might go over your head, but I think you're actually going to learn a lot as well. And so one of the deals we're funding right now, about to actually close it, is called One Football. Now, I don't know if you're a fan of football, also known as soccer, or not, but this company has been around for 10 years, basically delivering football news to people's mobile phones. And this is the first time they're ever going to create a token. And we're going to get access early on that token. This company's probably worth $1 billion. We're getting the token at 50 million. And so if the token becomes worth as much as the company, it's an easy 20x and maybe more. This is One Football. This could easily be a multi-billion-dollar token.
It's just absolutely crazy.
It's better than anything I've seen.
It's a great opportunity.
I definitely would like to invest in this one.
One Football is the giant in the football space. We connect the industry with fans. We talk about 30 million users that are logged into One Football. 200 million users we reach with our content experience, our video network. That makes us the biggest data provider and data owner in the football space. Every blue chip football club like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, PSG are shareholders in One Football, which gives us unique access to these clubs, but also unique insights of what the clubs are looking for. We are streaming roughly 8,000 to 9,000 football matches a season. We are I would say one of the biggest football streamer on the planet. We are not looking for short-term gains or anything. For us, it's really long-term.
Why take this beautiful business and screw it all up with a token?
And the answer is simple. It's the user data. Fan identity is for us the next level, and the token is a tool for us. We are in a brilliant position to leverage that fan data and Web3 product in the future with the Fan Identity project.
2 thumbs up if you love this project, 2 from Marco, 2 from Nicole, 2 for Hausler, 2 for Todd. So it looks like 100% thumbs up.
It is a great opportunity for people to move from Web 2 to Web 3.
By just looking at their app, and it's mind-boggling. It's amazing.
They've been in business for a while. They have a good thing going. I felt like they were upfront about things. I felt like they were people that you could trust.
They're definitely thinking about the community and doing this methodically. I love everything that they're doing. They're doing a great job. I really love this project.
For me, it's 50 million. That's the number that just sells this, that valuation. It's just got a ton of upside. Could it go to 500 million? Could it go to $1 billion? Easily. Could it go to 2 billion? That's 20x, 40x. That's like real money. Booyah. Do we like that? Does that look pretty exciting, that deal? Look, I mean, I'm not a football fan per se, but I understand they've got 30 million customers with extensive data on each customer. They've got a really sticky audience because people love the news and the streaming. And now they're going to introduce a token and an entire crypto ecosystem. This deal is fully backed by Animoca Brands. I'm telling you, everybody on our team loved this deal. It's just a no-brainer. In crypto, a lot of times people create a product and then they look for the customer. In this case, they have 30 million customers and they're going to give them a blockchain product. We love this deal. Probably tokens generated in the next 2 months. There's a tiny bit left on that. Look, the next deal is a really cool play because it's a media play. It's actually a show called Crypto Nights that actually has a full season on Amazon. The next season is coming in 2 months, and you can go watch it on Amazon Prime. It's got millions of views. And this one really is like the Shark Tank for crypto. And a bunch of the people I've had on the show are some of the judges. They call them knights. And the show is called Crypto Nights. They bring in some Hollywood stars to kind of fill out the judging panel, and it's done with really good old school reality TV producers. These aren't just crypto people. These are actually kind of Hollywood types. And so the main guy, Riaz, is going to kind of explain what's going on here, but it's called Crypto Nights. The one really cool thing is that we actually get tokens of all the companies that are on the show, and only the best companies are invited on the show. And so it's really this cool opportunity to get a bunch of great deals. And this is Crypto Nights.
It looks like a very good project.
Production value is really high.
We've never seen anything like it.
There's a lot of opportunity here.
Crypto Nights is not just a TV show, it is a complete ecosystem. Some people call it the Shark Tank for crypto. Projects from across the globe come and pitch to a very elite set of investors. We're an Emmy Award nominated production team. I've been in the entertainment business for about 20 years. We started generating revenue even before we started filming season 1. We generated $4.9 million worth of token revenue. In season 2, we are anticipating $6 million. Plus, our goal is really to make this a global brand, and we want to lead the space with Crypto Nights.
VC funding for crypto projects is not as robust as it was last year. Is that a challenge for you right now?
From our point of view, that's not a big challenge. Projects need us more now than ever before because we give them access to that capital. Folks like Blue Whale, I think they raised like over $1 million in that one session. So that's where we make that massive difference.
So if I own some Knight tokens, I'm owning a small piece of every company that's coming on your program in the future.
That's true, every single company. By simply buying the Crypto Nights token, you could end up owning 100 different tokens.
2 thumbs up if you like this play. Arno's up, Jose 2 up, Christopher is in, Tracy's in, Federica's in, Oliver's in, Trevor's in, Camille's in, KN's in. Dr. Encore, your thoughts?
They've got the media distribution to actually help these projects do well and get the word out.
It has an excellent format. Seems to be very experienced in the media. He understands the crypto market, the crypto environment.
So this is an unusual project. It really is diversifying our portfolio. They already have a proven track record of being profitable in season 1.
I love the idea that it's not only investing in the production company, but also potential to invest in the other projects. I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, and she's right there. It's kind of cool because we just don't get the company itself and the the media play, we also get all the individual investments. So another really cool project. We're closing those down as we speak. And then those tokens will be generated probably in the next 30 to 60 days, which means when those fly, we get money back, and then the whole thing becomes a great flywheel. So that's what we do. We love the fact that you get to make the choices on investments. Nobody tells you what to do with your money. We like the fact you get to learn along the way. And I know at first it might seem like I don't know how to evaluate a CEO. Maybe I'm not that great with blockchain, but I'm telling you, you'll be surprised. After 3 or 4 of those calls, you'll be like, wait, I really think I have an opinion. Plus, you'll see a bunch of other people voting. If we don't get 95% of the group saying, yes, we don't invest, and then we do our entire due diligence process behind the scenes, and we invest alongside really big money, billion-dollar funds who also do their due diligence. So we end up really checking these companies out. And that's why the track record has been really good from our point. So those are just 2 deals we're working on. Like I said, please come to some of our live pitches. They're actually a lot of fun. I do a market update, etc. A lot of people have been asking me, Brian, how does London Real pick so many winners? Like, how do you consistently making these 10Xs and 20Xs and 22X returns? And it's a great question. And we thought long and hard about it because it's no longer luck because we're just getting so many of them. And we realized that, success is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. We have been doing this for 4 years, right? Coming up on 5 years, we've been in this business. I was just talking to Shiraz in my studio, and he said, Brian, I remember the bear market in crypto in 22, everybody disappeared. And I said, we didn't. We were here every single week teaching, broadcasting, investing, and we've been here for 4 years. And the market knows that, and they value us in a huge way. And that's one of the reasons that we continue to see incredible deal flow, and we can pass those opportunities to you. Now, look, I know a lot of you probably feel like Drake here on the top, where you've invested in crypto and you've lost money. Who here has lost money in crypto? Anybody raise your hand? Cindy, Kate, come on, be honest. Sherry, the only honest one in the bunch. Thank you, Sherry. It's really hard not to lose money in crypto, especially when you start, because it's a jungle out there. How do you know who to trust? How do you know what coin to buy? You go on X or Twitter and you find some crypto guy with a fake name and a fake picture, and he's shilling you some fake coin. And what do you know? It's up and then it's down, 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 down. And you're thinking, to heck with this crypto stuff. I don't need this nonsense. And most people leave. And it's a shame, because if you do this correctly with the right mentorship and education and the right community, with the right due diligence and the right media platform, this is an incredible way to make money. And so you can actually be smiling like Drake on the bottom here, invest alongside of us with our team for the next 10 years and really create that generational wealth I believe you deserve. And it's called the Investment Club, folks. This is the greatest product in our 14-year history we've ever created. We've got the most success. We've made the most money. We've empowered the most companies and the most people all over the world. Now, if you've ever struggled with money throughout your life, if you've ever lived paycheck to paycheck, has anyone here ever been in stress about money in your life? Raise your hand. Lord knows I have. Oh my gosh. Well, this product was designed to solve that problem. And I've been there. I mean, until I was 30 years old, American Express had a hitman looking for me. I was so much in debt. It was shocking. And I was so frustrated that I didn't know how to get out of this cycle of poverty. And I finally figured it out. And once I created enough wealth to give me the breathing room, then I wanted to show other people how to do it. And that's the problem we've solved with our investment club, where you can learn from us and go on with us on this journey so you can create wealth to give you the freedom in your life to do what you want to do. It's really that simple. And if this sounds of interest to you, the best way to learn more about it is to book a call with Martini. She's put her details here in the chat on Zoom, and there's 3 or 4 different ways you can. But, if you're really serious about finding a solution to problems with money, and if you really want to work with an amazing community and create incredible wealth, well, we've got the solution. And so reach out to Martini and see if you can book a call where you can talk about whether this is the right fit. What I would say is only book a call with Martini if you are serious about joining. She's extremely busy talking to people all over the world that really see this as an incredible opportunity. And so make sure you're serious about joining. But if you are, have that conversation. You'd be surprised how this could change your life. That's what it's done to all of our members. Folks, we also have a 4-week, 4-module crypto academy course that will basically take you from zero to hero in all things blockchain and Bitcoin. The next course starts on Monday, so we have about 5 days. I know some of you are thinking about joining. Not going to name any names, Kate, but I know you've been talking to some of our people, and I'm waiting for you to pull the trigger and join us. We got a great group of people. I teach it personally. It's 8 hours of live calls with me personally on a Monday and a Thursday. You get access to our online e-learning platform. We have this triple tiered accountability system, so you have to do the work. There's no procrastination. We have dedicated coaches, team leaders. We got people like Martini here and Carla here that help you. And we got a private group for posting assignments. It really is amazing. Module 1 teaches you about the history of crypto. You actually read the Bitcoin white paper, learn about the creation of Ethereum, stable coins, and learn everything that happened in the last few years. Next, we get you set up with your hot wallets and your cold wallets, your exchanges like Coinbase and crypto.com, and you do your first decentralized finance trade in week 2. I mean, that's incredible, actually. In week 3, we go bigger on DeFi. And in week 4, we show you how to really trade your portfolio and make money. It's really an incredible course. We've priced this super low. We've just taken 60% off. I think it's $999 to join this. And in 4 weeks, you'll be up the curve and ready to go. Some of our investment club members take this in parallel to the investment club, but I just want you to know that this is ready. And actually, you're pre-approved to buy this at londonville.tv/buy. We start on Monday. It's an amazing course and an amazing way to get started at a low price point. Folks, I also want to give you my 8-step trading checklist. We'll share this in the course, but here's a free gift. If you go through every one of these checklists before you make a trade, you're going to save yourself tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and one day, probably millions of dollars. So you can have a screenshot of that. It's our gift to you. Folks, this is the big news. It was on Forbes, and it was a Satoshi Nakamoto era bombshell suddenly put Bitcoin price on the brink ahead of a $50 trillion crypto game changer. Now, what happened? Well, guess what? $9 billion worth of Bitcoin were liquidated at the market price on Monday through a company called Galaxy Digital. Now, this wallet had not been touched since Satoshi Nakamoto created the Bitcoin protocol back in 08, 09. And you can, with Bitcoin, you can see all the old wallets. So you can tell if people move their crypto. And what blew everybody away was the fact that you could dump $9 billion of crypto in the market. And guess what happened to the price? Nothing. It didn't move. And that shows you there are buyers upon buyers upon buyers. BlackRock is buying for their ETF. Michael Saylor is buying for his treasury company. There's more treasury companies like Metaplanet and Tokyo buying. There's retail buying. Goldman Sachs is buying. JP Morgan is buying. Everyone is buying. And so it didn't even flinch when it had this little pop. And of course, this is the news. Galaxy Digital dumped 80,000 Bitcoin in the market, and it didn't even blink. That is a massively bullish sign, because if it comes another day where they're not selling that, the price is going to go up accordingly. And of course, on top of that, Trump Media, his company that owns True Social, just bought $2 billion in Bitcoin just for its own treasury. So between them and the Trump family, they're buying, buying, buying. And of course, we've heard this new concept of an infinite money glitch is coming for the $4 trillion in crypto. And what this is this new phenomenon called a treasury company. Now, I won't get into the details here, but I was actually sitting in the leather chair with a gentleman a few hours before my show, and he's setting up Bitcoin treasury companies here in the UK and an Ethereum treasury company and maybe another one. And we're basically talking about working with them to see if we can get some of our investment club members involved. This is the new narrative, folks. And people are going out there and buying massive amounts of crypto and sticking them in publicly traded companies that you can buy on the stock market in the United States and in the FTSE right here in London. And of course, this is the financial engineering. You can see here, it's called a flywheel effect, where companies buy Bitcoin, the price goes up, they buy more Bitcoin, the price goes up, they raise debt, they raise equity, and the price goes up. And Michael Saylor has turned this into a massive, massive company. We've seen Bitcoin smash through 120,000. It's already gone through that and 123,000. Places like banks on Wall Street are calling for Bitcoin to hit $150,000 in the next few weeks. And of course, Standard Chartered Bank has called for a $500,000 Bitcoin. It sounds crazy until it happens, and then you realize it's not that crazy. And of course, we know there's a new wave or a $15 trillion earthquake that's headed straight for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and more. The question I have for all of you is, are you invested in this space enough? When this market doubles and triples and quadruples, when you see our coins go up 10x, 20x, 30x, 40x, are you going to have enough exposure to make millions of dollars in this cycle? If the answer is no, I recommend you change that in the next few weeks and months, because you're not going to get another opportunity like this. You just won't. You could wait 5 years for the next cycle, but I don't think there'll be opportunities like there are right now. Now, look, a lot of you know I ran to be mayor of London recently, and I had a pro freedom of speech, pro crypto platform, actually. I wanted all the voting to be on the blockchain. I wanted all the budget to be on the blockchain. And I actually called for the creation of the London coin, and I was going to put 100 pounds of crypto in the wallet of every man, woman, and child. Now, look, I couldn't do that. They wouldn't give me the job. And so what I decided to do was just make the rest of you filthy rich instead. Does that sound good? Everybody here? Joanne, are you in for that? Madeline's in. Good. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give you all you guys the knowledge. And that's what I'm doing. I'm here in London, and I'm also here in our studio in Dubai, sitting down with the greatest minds on the planet. This is Dr. Marwan Al-Zaruni, runs the Dubai Blockchain Center. This is Uni Wong. She's a massive crypto influencer. This is Carl Moon. He was working as a grocery store clerk in Sweden a few years ago, and now he's a crypto billionaire. So don't give me your excuses. I don't want to hear them, because none of you look like you're working as a grocery store clerk, and yet you're still trying to tell me you can't do this. This is Chris MM Crypto. He was driving a taxi in Germany. He posted a picture of his taxi today on Twitter. So don't tell me you can't do this. This guy's a multi-billionaire in crypto right now. All it takes is someone willing to pull the trigger and take some action and stop sitting on the sideline watching all of your opportunities go by. That's all it takes. Folks, right now we're investing over $5 million into 15 different blockchain and AI deals this quarter. We're doing it right now. And I tell you this because we know everything that's happening in the market. We know what's hot, what's not, and we can guide you accordingly. And it's all because of London Real Ventures. This is what gives us our power. It's the world's first media-powered investment firm. So what happens when you take a 14-year-old media company with 1 billion views, 5 million subscribers, you combine it with a venture capital firm with $25 million in capital. You put those things together and magic happens. Magic looks like this portfolio. What you see here is the best of the best, really the creme de la creme of Web3 investments. Each one of these companies with the potential to become a $2 billion or a $5 billion protocol, making all of my members just filthy rich. And we've just hit a major milestone and crossed $21 million invested in over 100 different blockchain and AI deals. Folks, we're bigger than most funds in this business. That is mind-boggling, and we're just getting warmed up. One of the reasons we win is we invest with the big, smart money. Names you've heard of like Coinbase Ventures, Galaxy Digital, Andreessen Horowitz, even Warner Brothers Music. And that's one of the reasons we win on a regular basis. And of course, we just got voted the best venture capital KOL of the year. KOL stands for Key Opinion Leader. I accepted this award in Singapore. I was really proud to just grab it on behalf of our entire club. I also got a Lifetime Achievement Award recently at the Global Family Office Summit for our media and our investments. And of course, we like to always represent in the crypto space. And so when I got a chance to lace up my gloves recently and teach one of these young punks some manners, I had to do it, you know, in the name of London Real. And so this was my fight in Dubai a couple months ago. We got the rematch with this kid October 1st in Singapore. Get your tickets now. It's going to be a good night. Folks, we think the greatest way to predict the future is just to go out there and create it. How many people like to live their life that way? Anybody here? Kate, Cindy? Kate Dixie's in. You know, if your hands aren't up, you might as well get off my call. I don't need your bummer vibes to take me down. I want people that want to take action. I want, you know, doers. I want optimists. You know, we faced some dark times back in 2020. I don't know if you remember, but we were getting shut down and censored. The world was going crazy. What did we do? We didn't change a damn thing. We kept broadcasting anything we wanted to, and we told the truth, and we fought back against trillion-dollar tech companies, and we won. And that's what we're doing here as well. We're going to change the future until it becomes the future that we want. We're going to make a boatload of money, create lifelong friends, and create a future that's good for us and our families. And you can come along for that ride. And it all comes down to this mission statement on our back wall. Just showed this to our guest a couple hours ago. We're here to create a mass-scale transformation of humanity into a fully empowered, conscious, and cooperative species. Folks, we do things differently here. We attract really good vibrations and positive energy. That's one of the reasons I think we're making a lot of money. But of course, as you know from me, it's not just business, it's personal, because I got these two fellas to look out for. This is Caden, just turned 9, and this is Damon, who's turning 8 this next month. They both own Bitcoin, and Damon just got some Ethereum, in fact. And the truth is that I'm worried about their future. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm worried that their banks are going to censor their transactions, their government's going to print more money, and that robots powered by AI are going to take their jobs. And when they look at me in 10 years and say, Papa, where's our Bitcoin? Where's our opportunities? How come the world is such a messed up place? I'm not going to give them some excuse and say I was too busy or I couldn't afford it. I'm going to make things happen today. And so whenever I have a tough day or I think I'm having a hard moment, I just think about why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for them. And I know I must take risk today if I want to provide for them tomorrow. And so my question for you is, are you taking risk today? Because if you think playing it safe is going to create anything meaningful for you or your people, you're wrong. Does anybody here have people you're looking out for, kids or parents or family members? Even if your hand's not up, trust me, your parents aren't getting any younger. They're going to need your help too. And the truth is, you got to start preparing now. And it's going to mean you get uncomfortable and take risk. Because if you think you're going to save your way to retirement and financial freedom, you're kidding yourselves. The Matrix has taught you to go to work, put your money in the savings account. Meanwhile, your government is printing more of it, making all of your efforts worthless. The only way out of this is to break out and get into digital assets. It's the only way. Folks, this is Michael Saylor. He now owns $70 billion of Bitcoin. He started buying it 5 years ago for his company called MicroStrategy. He's going to buy another $40 billion of crypto in the next couple of years. He thinks each Bitcoin is going to $13 million, and he believes that AIs and ETFs are going to power a decade-long gold rush for Bitcoin. Michael thinks differently, and he's been on our show twice. And when all of my students always say, Brian, how do I get information about crypto? What news website do I go to? I'm like, don't go to a news website. Go listen to the big OG players in the space. Go listen to Michael Saylor talk for 12 hours. That's how you learn something. And so I'd love for you to listen carefully from Michael talking on his last episode here at London Real.
We went from investing 250 million in Bitcoin to 425 million in Bitcoin to eventually $1 billion in Bitcoin to $2 billion in Bitcoin to just slightly less than $4 billion.
You said there are decades when nothing happens and there are weeks when Bitcoin happens.
So every decade there's some profound paradigm shift. It's such an out of the blue idea that no one can conceive of why you would even want it. What you've got is a lot of people questioning all their premises, and rising through that chaos is a new idea. What if I can encrypt energy? What if I can encrypt money such that nobody on earth, no government can debase it, no corporation can steal it? I don't trust anybody. I'm going to create a shared immutable ledger, incorruptible, immortal, transcendental ledger. If I can transfer $1 million of value from me to you without an intermediary, that means I have transcended the political realm.
You said, Brian, I like Bitcoin because it has low aspirations.
The idea of Bitcoin was, how do I create a protocol that's fair and equitable that I give as a gift to the world that no one can control? If you're going to do it and you understand thermodynamics, and if you have any sense of genetics or biology or physics, you realize you need to be very humble in your aspirations. How do we give the gift of property rights, freedom, and sovereignty and empowerment to everybody on the planet? The best idea 30 years ago was YouTube or Google Maps, Twitter or Facebook or email. I think the best idea for the next 30 years is digital energy. Everybody can own their stuff and nobody can take it away from them.
All right, we like Michael. Does anybody like listening to that guy? He really has seen the future. He's done so much service to this space. And now there's 135 public companies in the world that are copying what he's doing to tremendous success. I love listening to Michael. Again, I highly recommend you go listen to him for even more hours than that. My takeaways from him is, number one, crypto is encrypted energy. It's actually like walking around with a pocket full of energy, or that on your hard drive or that on your wallet somewhere. It really is powerful. No government can debase it. No corporation can steal it, because the crypto actually transcends money. It's the most sound money you've ever experienced in your life, and it changes the way you actually experience life. Folks, if it wasn't obvious, 2025 is the year of crypto. You've already missed half of it. You're about to miss the whole second half. Unless you take massive action now, you're not going to be able to take part in this bull run that's right here. And you're going to miss out in what I think is one of the few times in your life where you can create generational wealth. Now, I was around for the dot-com boom. I moved from London to New York City in 1999 to be the CFO of a .com startup called luxuryfinder.com. Here I was, 27 years old as the CFO. I don't know what they were thinking, quite frankly. And I missed my chance to make money in that .com boom. And I missed my chance to make money in the tech boom of the 2000s. I just didn't have my stuff together. This is my chance. Now, I don't know if you guys made money in that, but I only think these things come around once every 25 years. And so I really think for a lot of us, this is the last opportunity. If you're on this call, then you know better because you know it's important. You see what we're doing. You don't really have an excuse. And the worst thing that could happen is if you don't take action when you knew it was the right thing to do. So I would just implore anybody here to just get something significant invested, ideally in something that can go up 10x, 20x, 30x, 40x. Because owning Bitcoin right now, I think is the stupidest thing you can do. So where and how do we invest? Well, first you have to find the hottest trend, and I'll show you our investment thesis shortly. But this is something you're never going to find on your own, and that is deal flow. To get the right deal with the right partner, as opposed to the wrong deal, means the difference between making 20x, 30x on your money and losing all of your money. Not just the money you allocated to crypto, but probably losing your savings in your house and all your watches, because crypto has a way of draining all your money because you can make really bad decisions. And so what I do is I travel the world to meet the people that are going to bring the deals that are going to make you millions of dollars. And here I am, my first trip to Dubai many years ago, meeting with big influencers, members of government, venture capitalists. From here, I went off to Paris, where I sat down at a private dinner with some of the biggest VCs on the planet and some of the hottest deals. I'm always doing media, shooting documentary movies, more VCs, more influencers. Then I was back to London. I got to sit down with Yatsu of Animoca Brands for a very important interview. Went to the Token 2049 conference, more VCs, more influencers. Then I was off to Texas for the Consensus Conference. I was hanging out with celebrities like William Shatner and Alex Jones, more VCs, more celebrities. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we had a dinner with 14 members of our investment club. Can everybody see this picture down there of those crazy people? Kate, you see them, Joanne? They look a little crazy, right, Cindy? Now, why are they having so much fun, right? They're probably laughing because they're making so much cash. We had a good week that week. But the truth is, we're also making lifelong friends. We're changing the world, and we're hanging out with the coolest founders in the world. So it's really a dream for many of us to be inside this club. Of course, from there, I was off to Singapore, where I'm changing the color of my suit from white to orange to red to pinstripe. I don't know what I'm doing there. And just getting a lot of attention, getting a lot of deal flow, and bringing those deals back to our team. From there, I went to Toronto, where the Consensus Conference was, more influencers, more VCs, and in the bottom right-hand corner, we had another bigger dinner, double the size, 30, 40 people for our investment club. And you can just see we're just getting a little crazy there. Some people are trying to wear brighter suits than me, even. That Jacques from Paris, he's one of our whales. And look, we love hanging out with each other because it's just a great time to connect, make a lot of money, and also change the world. And of course, I always end up back in Dubai, where I do interviews on stage, premiere our films, and just in general, do a lot of deal flow. Folks, this is what I do to, like I said, bring you the deals that'll change your life. Now, if you want to win in this space, you have to invest with the best. What does that mean? Well, this is the number of deals we're going to look at every single week just to get the CEOs on the calls that you come to on a Monday or a Thursday. So we'll boil this down into 3 or 4 deals. They'll come and present. And that's one of the reasons that we see excellent, excellent deal flow. But you've got to also understand the financial tools. And I would say none of you understand these tools. And that is, first, we got to understand the investment thesis. And we believe that early stage Web3, metaverse, and artificial intelligence represent the hottest opportunity out there. Why is that? Well, number one, you buy at these super low valuations. You've seen them, pennies on the dollar. Number two, you see the biggest gains possible, 20x, 30x, 40x, 50x. At the same time, you're investing in what I call the biggest dislocation of wealth in human history. Yes, it's high risk, but the reward is even higher. And it's called pre-sale tokens, folks. You've seen it happen with Solana. You buy them for pennies on the dollar, they get worth $1, $5, $10, $20, $200. This is the only tried and true method that I've found where we can consistently print money for our members. And here's the example. Again, how many people here have heard of Solana before? Cindy, you know it. Henry, you know it. Kate, you probably know it. Joanne. Well, this is the pre-sale they did. Can everyone see the red circle here on the screen? April 5th. Can everyone hear the blue circle here? 4 pennies each, right? This is all on the blockchain. It's public information. You can go look it up if you want. It's very hard to find, actually, because if you know you could have bought this for 4 pennies, why would you pay $200? What happened? Well, you know what happened. $1,000 invested would have made you $5 million. That is real money. I'm telling you, I worked on Wall Street for 15 years. I never saw anything that could turn $1,000 into $5 million. No stock, no bond, no commodity that I ever saw could do this. This only happens in crypto. And guess what? The best part, Joanne, is that anybody in the world has access to this deal. You don't have to be an accredited investor in order to get access. That's where only the rich are allowed to get richer. And I don't really like that. I like the fact that anybody can be involved. And for me, this money brings you freedom. Now, how many people here want more freedom in their lives? Just raise your hand. Anybody here? Cindy, Joanne, Kate does. Yeah. For me, that's what it's all about. Now, look, it's none of my business what you do with your $5 million. You can buy your Bugatti, Joanne. Cindy, you can fly private, whatever you want to do. But for me, money brings me freedom. And I think we all want more freedom in our lives. And so that's really what we want to give you. Now, my question for everybody here is, did anybody here buy Solana tokens for 4 pennies each? Anybody on this call? Henry, Lowell, Cindy? Okay. Now, why didn't you? It's an objective question. How come you didn't buy them for 4 pennies? And I would answer, because you didn't know someone like me. Imagine if you had a contact, somebody who knew these deals were happening, who could send you a text message, Kate Jones, on the morning of April 5th and say, hey, Kate, I got this deal called Solana. What do you think? Do you want in on it? Your choice. Hey, Joanne, do you want in on it? Hey, Kate Dixie, do you want in on it? Now, how many people would have liked to receive a text that morning? Anybody here? You know, you can delete it if you want, right? You know, you can ignore me, Paul, but at least you can have it, right? And so I want to be the ones that get you that text message. And again, I'm not making this up. This isn't a hypothetical situation because I do this every single day. I have an investment club group here on Telegram, and I send a text message every single day. I don't know if you can see it here. My camera's a little bit bad on focus. And this one has the link. It's actually Kryptonites. And you can click on the link right there. In about 30 seconds, you can invest. You can put in 5,000. You can put in 50,000. It's up to you. You can put in 0. You can say, Brian, to heck with your deal. I don't like it. No problem. All right. I don't invest your money. I think that's an insult. I give you the chance, Cindy, to learn, listen to the CEO, listen to the other members of the club, and then make your own independent decision. My job is to get you the best information possible. And that reminds me of one of my favorite movies called Wall Street. There's a character in there named Gordon Gekko where he says, the most valuable commodity I know of is information. I love this line because it's not really about tokens and stock prices and stuff. It's about getting the right info at the right time. I want to be the ones that text you at the right moment with the right deal. That's how you make 100x. And that's what we're doing behind the scenes. Folks, how do you create generational wealth in this sector? You have to pull the trigger. And none of you are pulling the trigger right now. You're all paralyzed. You're in a state of fear because crypto looks complicated. It looks scary. I don't know what to do. I don't want to lose money. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to mess it up. So you're paralyzed and you do nothing. Or maybe you research something to death, right? One of my mentors said research is procrastination in disguise. Does anybody agree with that statement? Come on, Kate, Dixie, you know what I'm talking about, right? Henry, right? Right? We research something so much because deep down inside, we're too scared to do anything about it, right? But what we do inside the investment club is we make decisions based on imperfect information. And when we see something that's hot, we move on it. Because if you wait to research that thing, it's gone. And when you do that, magic happens. Now, a lot of you probably been watching these opportunities go by your whole life. And when I saw this video, it reminded me of me in my earlier years. Now, look, I grew up as an engineer. I was trained at MIT. And then the engineers, they teach you to be really careful to make sure that the planes don't explode and the bridges don't fall over and the cars don't crash, right? So as an engineer, you're always careful. And one of my biggest problems is I didn't take enough risk. Did anybody ever have that problem in their life? Right? I just didn't. I was too conservative. And it reminded me of this line in this video. There he is out there. And the perfect meal is right in front of his face, right? But he just won't actually take the stance. No, I'm too busy. No, I don't have enough money. No, I got my family. No, I just quit my job. No, I just started my job. No, I just got married. No, I just got divorced. And then someone else comes in and says, I'll take one of those. Yum, yum, yum. And the other lion runs off, right? These opportunities are right in front of you. And yet so many of us just sit there. Has anyone ever felt like that first lion before? Another one, another one, another one, another one, right? And I've been there before. And so what I do now is I engineer risk into my life to make sure that I don't do that. Now, not every decision is correct, but more often than not, they are. And so I'd really encourage you to really think about what your behavior has been like in the past. Because when you pull the trigger, magic happens. And that's what our portfolio is. It really is magic. Each one of these deals with the potential to become a $2 billion or $5 billion protocol. And like I said, my job is to make my members of my group filthy rich. And I'm going to make them just absolutely fabulously rich. And it's all because of London Real Ventures. Folks, this is the platform that gets you access to deals normally reserved for billion-dollar funds. With the media, I can bring the CEOs and bring the deals that'll change your life. And it comes down to my quadruple threat. This is what they want. Number one is production. They want to come to my studio, sit down for the 2-hour interview, 6-camera, high definition, and produce a beautiful piece of video. Number two is distribution. I get it out to 5 million potential customers. Number three, I connect them with all the big players from the Yatsus, the Dan Tapieros. Number four, I write them a $200,000 check for expansion. I'm telling you, Kate, there's not a CEO in this world that can say no to this. And that's why we get deals like Naris Protocol, One Football, Crypto Nights. That's how we get the hot deals. And that's the reason we've had so much success. Folks, there's one last piece here. And again, I'm always worried because this one offends people sometimes because it's the truth. I actually just talked about this concept with my guest. It just was on the show named Shiraz. And it's a problem all of us suffer, is that we don't surround ourselves with the best. Now, how many people agree with this statement? You're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Anybody agree with that? Kate Dixie, Cindy, you know it's true. Will knows it's true. Joanne knows. And yet, who are you hanging out with? If you check the last 5 people that you texted, that'll probably give you an idea who's in your inner circle. How many of those people are toxic family members who really don't believe in you? How many of those are old friends from 20 years ago that are still acting like they're 20 years ago, right? Come on, let's go out and get drunk this weekend. Let's watch Netflix for 6 hours. Let's do a bunch of stupid stuff that's not going to get us to our goals. Now, how do you expect to attain generational wealth if you're hanging out with people that don't share your aspirations? Does anybody have someone in their life right now who maybe doesn't share your dreams? Maybe doesn't believe in you 100%? Nobody here, huh? Wow, you guys are all amazing, right? Most of us have that people. Okay, Cindy's the honest one, right? And so I would argue until you surround yourself with the right people, you're never going to get a result. I could give you the greatest token in the world, 20x, Cindy, but if you keep hanging out with those people for the next 12 months, I'll come back and you'll probably have blown all that cash. This is the truth. They've done studies on this with lottery winners. They all blow it. And so you've really got to think about how you can change your peer group to change your game. And I realized this was the story of my life. Here are 4 versions of Brian from 16 years old on the left to 30 on the bottom. And what you see here is a man undergoing a transformation. So Brian on the left is 16. I'm making $6 an hour and I'm going nowhere. And I would have stayed there if I hadn't have actually made a move. What did I do? I ended up studying hard and I graduated from MIT. That's me at the top. And here I'm surrounded by the smartest people in the world. My peer group is improving, but I'm still broke as a joke. I'm still a broke college kid. So what did I do? I took my grades at MIT and I got a job on Wall Street. Folks, now I'm surrounded by the best traders in the world. These people are making between $9 and $12 million a year. They're crazy. They're also very, very difficult, abusive, mentally, physically, you name it. But by spending time with them, they taught me how to make a lot of money. And a few years later, I became one of them. What's my point here, Joanne? My point is that I had to get uncomfortable and surround myself with the people I wanted to become. If I had stayed in San Diego, hanging out with my high school friends, I would have never gone on this journey. And so I'm asking you honestly, do you need to change your peer group? Now, here's my question for you, Joanne and Cindy and Henry. What if after this call, you go see your friends later tonight or on the weekend and you hang out with them and you say, hey, guess what? This year, I'm going to make 10 million bucks in crypto with Brian Rose of London Real. What are they going to say, Cindy? Cindy's already smiling. She's like, oh man, that's not going to go over well, Brian. They're going to laugh at me, right? Now they're laughing at you. Now, why are they laughing at you, Cindy? because they're thinking, oh God, here's Cindy talking about crypto again. Man, she's not the sharpest tool in the box, is she? Never was. Yeah, she's probably had a couple drinks, and this is that these people, they love you, but they love you just the way you are. They want you to be successful as long as you're not more successful than them. And a lot of us are held back by a peer group who's just subconsciously does that. If you want to become a billionaire, you have to get in a room with a billionaire. You're not going to do it by watching YouTube videos and hanging out with your same group. I know this is true. And that's why I created my investment club. So you can hang out with people like Marianne Bartels. She's one of my founding members. She's a 35-year Wall Street veteran. She was chief information officer of Merrill Lynch Bank of America. She's made her clients tens of billions of dollars. She was on CNBC 2 days ago with Andrew Sorkin talking about the crypto market. She's gangster level. Okay. Now, Cindy, what do you think Marianne's going to tell you when you tell her you want to make 10 million bucks in crypto this year? She's going to say, Cindy, baby, $10 million. Why are you playing so small? Let's make 100 million bucks. Let's make $1 billion over 10 years. That's how Marianne thinks. Meanwhile, your friends are giggling at you. Who wants to spend time with a Marianne Bartels? Anybody here? This will change your life forever. Let's be honest, folks. None of us is going to be around very long. 10, 20, 30 years is going to go by like that. You're going to look back in your life and think, what did I actually do? Well, tell you what, with someone like Marianne in your corner, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, God damn, I'm a badass. Look what I did. I did things I never thought possible. I changed my game, right? I created generational wealth for my entire bloodline. Honestly, it's priceless having people like Marianne in your life. And they're very hard to get. Matter of fact, the only way I know how to get them is to join a club like this. Because if you went to New York City right now and tried to buy Marianne coffee, she would walk right by you as she left her office. Why would she have coffee with you? It's not in her interest, right? But inside the investment club, you can hang out with people like this. This is Tigran. He's one of America's top 100 criminal defense attorneys. This is your new peer group, one of our founding members. Tigran's next level, okay? He recently was out in Beverly Hills, took Martini out and the whole group to dinner, brought them all flowers. When you're hanging out with this guy, he's not talking about the football game from the weekend. He's not talking about the Netflix series that just went on for 6 hours. He's talking about the next billion-dollar idea, okay? I'm telling you, it's not what these people say, it's what they don't say. It's not what they do, it's what they don't do. And you can honestly get wealthy by osmosis, just being around these people. That's a true story. This is Andrew Haynes. He's one of our technical experts. He'll jump on a Zoom call and educate you about Web3 gaming, anything you need to know. Here he is, graduating from one of the top executive training schools in Switzerland. This is your new peer group. You're going to hang out with him every week. This is Dr. Encore. He was in medicine 4 years ago, took my 4-week crypto and DeFi course, graduated, was the founding member of the investment club. And a year ago, we hired him full-time just to source deals. He's next level. He's one of the best in the business. This is your new peer group. And guess what, Cindy? I got 146 more of these people in my group, all next level. I can't even use some of their names. They're so high up. Imagine hanging out with these people even for a week versus your normal group. I'm telling you, you could come to the group and not make a single investment for the rest of the year, and I guarantee you'll become wealthier, right? Just hanging out with people like this takes you to the next level. And this is our family. These are some selfies I took behind the scenes when we were at the conferences. What you see here is people that love to be together. That's what we do. Here's an event we had in London with one of our portfolio companies, everybody flying in from around the world just to be there. Folks, I believe your net worth is your network. Does anybody agree with that? Okay, you probably know that's true, Cindy and Joanne. Get in the right room. I spent my whole life thinking it was what I knew, not who I knew. I was an idiot. I wish I had done this earlier. I really wish. It took me like 45 or 50 till I figured this out. Crazy. Folks, I believe if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. We teach people how to fish. Every Monday, every Thursday, I am building your PhD in blockchain, your PhD in investing, and you're going to become fantastic at it. And that's why we created the investment club. Because 4 years ago, we did our first pre-sale token investment. And Joanne, I'll tell you, it freaked me out. It scared the hell out of me. I had this dude from Cross the Ages, one of the hottest gaming companies in blockchain. He came on my call. I'd never seen him before. At the end of the call, he said, send $100,000 to this wallet. I was like, what are you, crazy? I was like, I haven't looked at the documents, my lawyers. I need 2 weeks. He said, 2 weeks. He's like, you got 20 minutes or you're going to miss this deal. And he was right. I was going to miss one of the hottest deals on the planet. And I thought, man, these guys are a bunch of cowboys. Here I am, Mr. MIT guy, Mr. Big banker guy, and I'm getting scared by a crypto deal. And I thought, man, if any of you tried to do this right now, you would lose all of your money. And at the same point, if you did it correctly, you could make tens of millions of dollars. And so I was at this total crossroads. I was in this conundrum. What do I do, Joanne? I'm sitting here thinking, wait a second, this could be the greatest thing I ever do for the London Real community. And this could also, unchecked, ruin anybody who tries to do it themselves. And I thought, wait a second, if we teach this, we could create more change than any episode I've ever taped, any movie I've ever done, any class I've ever taught. And so I called up Martini and we decided to create the investment club. It's the greatest community, the greatest product, the greatest wealth creation mechanism we've ever created in 14 years. It's a massive success. And here are the details. It's an application-only program. We open up 10 spaces a quarter. They go very, very fast. I only think there's 1 or 2 left on this quarter, and then we have to shut it down until the next quarter opens. It's 6 modules, 3 months of coursework. It's a 12-month program, but guess what? It's turned into a lifetime access program. Imagine that. 20, 30, 40 years of access to a high-level peer group of people making massive amounts of money. We do weekly live Zoom calls with top CEOs. We now do 3, 4, 5 a week. You get a private Telegram group, access to all the deal flow. And if you don't know crypto, no problem. We'll give you access to a full year of Kings of DeFi program and get you up to speed on all things blockchain, Bitcoin, you name it. I've had people join this club with no crypto experience. They do their first deal in 3 weeks. Next live call Thursday, 7 p.m. We teach this remotely to people in about 30, 40 countries. And this is the syllabus. Module 1, I sent you early. What is a crypto pre-sale token? Module 2, what is a SAFT? Who here knows what a SAFT is? Cindy, Lul, Joanne, Kate, not a single person. This is the reason you're going to stay poor, because you're not educating yourself with the financial instruments that can change your life. A SAFT is a simple agreement for future tokens. It's what the rich use to get richer. And until you educate yourself, you're going to be stuck in a cycle of poverty. And I'm sorry, but it's your fault. It's nobody else's fault, because there's access to all this information out here. I'm going to teach you this stuff. It sounds complicated, but it's not. You can do it. Module 3, how to identify early winners. We'll show you how to do due diligence on any company out there. And in 10 minutes, you can make a yes or no decision. Module 4, how to generate new deal flow. I'll show you what conference to go to, what ticket to buy, what to wear, and how you're going to use QR codes scanned on your phone to send deals back to the group. Module 5 is how to nurture these deals into multi-billion-dollar protocols. And module 6, what do you do with all the cash? You're going to make so much money investing in these deals, you're not going to know what to do with it. I recommend you save some, you spend some, and you put the rest into these early stage deals. Create generational wealth for your grandkids. This is a Telegram group. This is the Discord group. And here are the details, folks. As I mentioned, we're oversubscribed. We lost Martini, I thought, for good. She's taking calls from people all over the world. There's a lot of interest from the Middle East now, a lot of interest from the West Coast. And she's trying to talk to these people who want in on this club now. Again, we're oversubscribed, 10 go in the quarter, and they're gone. The investment in this program, this is the mentorship, the education, the community, 20, 30 years of deal flow is $50,000. And that gets you the hottest deals in the world. Now, look, I understand that's a significant amount of money. It is. I used to make $6 an hour. I understand. But what if that got you unlimited financial returns? What if that could make you $50 million? It'll be the best investment you've ever made in your life. And of course, it's your chance to take part in the greatest wealth creation event in human history, ending in the next couple months. It's over. And of course, our special investments in crypto nights, in One Football, they're ending right now. You're going to miss these opportunities. Now, this is the deal we had last quarter. You missed this one as well. This is a SAFT agreement, by the way. Don't let it intimidate you. That deal was up 466% in one day. Now, why do I show you that? Because if you had stopped the procrastination and stopped the excuses and stopped the but, and put 10,000 on this deal, you would have paid for the club for the rest of your life. Imagine hanging out with Tigran and Marianne and Dr. Encore, just being there with me, watching the way we move, watching the deals, watching all the wealth. It would change your life forever. And you could have had it, but you've thought about it and procrastinated and gone into fear, and you now paralyzed, and now you're like the lion, and now you're not going to eat today or maybe even next year. Don't let that happen to you. And you've seen our results. Shrapnel 20x in 20 days. Skillful AI, $4 million profit. Mochaverse up 20x, Story Protocol up 22x, Cats up 14x, our $1 billion fund up a 4x. How many more of these deals do you have to see before you realize that you don't need to see more of these, right? I think I've proven to you that this is a no-brainer. The only problem is getting outside of your own head. And sometimes some of my members get angry. They finally wake up one day and say, to hell with this system, to hell with these bankers, to hell to my government making more money. I want to take care of my family. I want to take care of my future self, and I'm taking action. I'm going to invest in digital assets. I think it takes a moment like that. Otherwise, I think you're just going to keep on, yeah, okay, I'll try next year. You're not going to get there without some action. This is my pledge to my club. I'm going to create $10 billion for them in the next 10 years. And at this rate, it's probably going to happen in 5 years. And I just can't wait till all my members start showing up to London Real headquarters in their private jets. And they close down the airport. And I think we're already going to rent out some cruise ship, right, Martini, I think in 2030, and just take over the world. I mean, no, we might start doing some really crazy stuff, like some, James Bond, Dr. No type stuff. I don't know. But we're going to have fun along the way. And these are some of my members, folks. They're incredible people with real names because they're real people. If you go to londonreal.tv/club, you can actually watch a video from every single one of these people, and they'll talk about how this club changed their life forever. They've created the wealth that allows them to take care of their families. This is Carol. She says, every member is both a learner and an investor. It's true. This is Joe, says the window of opportunity is closing quickly. And he's right. You're about to miss this whole thing. This is Cherry, just honored to be part of the club, loves the vibe. This is Dr. Yvette. She's a single mom with 4-year-old twins. What is your excuse? This is the busiest woman I've ever met, and she's done 16 deals. And you're telling me you're busy. I don't believe it, right? They say if you want something done, give it to a busy person, right, Cindy? You heard that, right? You're just not prioritized. You prioritize things right, this wealth is coming to you. This is Jens. He asked a great question. How can you afford not to do this? 6 months from now, you're going to look back and check in on me, and you're going to see how we're crushing it. And you're going to think, why didn't I just do that? But there won't be any do-overs. It'll be too late. This is Petya. She couldn't afford the course. This is a true story. And she joined anyways. She put herself in the difficult situation where she had to come up with the money. You know what she did? She found it. You know what she did after that? After she paid the course tuition, she made 64 individual investments of a minimum of $5,000 each. Right, Martini? It's amazing. Do the math, Kate. Right? 60 times 5,000 is a lot of money. That's her minimum she's invested. And Petya is going to be one of the wealthiest people in our club. If she can do it, you can do it. A lot of people think our members are these super wealthy people with big connections and MBAs. They're not. They're poorer than you. They're less educated than you. They're less connected than you. And yet they pulled the trigger and you didn't. That's the crazy thing, because they have a better relationship with fear than you do. They realize they either do this now or they'll have to do it later. Or as one of my mentors said, there's never an easy time to make a hard decision. And you have to make this decision. Otherwise, you're going to get the same result. What's that expression? They say, Kate, the definition of insanity is repeating the same behavior, expecting a different result. That's what most of you have been doing financially for the last 20 years. Anybody know what I'm talking about here? I did it for a long time. I'm going to save my money and one day it's going to be worth a lot. The biggest lie ever told to us. So break the cycle, change your behavior, and get a new result. This is Chris, who said the deal flow is beyond what I expected. Joining was the best decision I ever made. I love telling the story because Chris invests along with his son, who's 14 years old. His son literally gives him $1,000 cash and says, Dad, I want 20% of that deal. Dad puts in the other 4,000 and they invest together. We love fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, husbands and wives, boyfriend and girlfriend just joined us, Tommy and Dee. They're amazing. And we think this is a family affair, how you educate when it comes to money. And this is what Chris said about the course.
What the London Real Investment Club actually does for you, it gives you the keys to open that door to the inside deals. In the last 3 weeks, I've participated in 3 incredible deals: a layer 2 Bitcoin protocol, an incredible AI protocol. The deal flow is beyond what I expected. I don't think I've ever seen a model like this that just gives average folks the opportunity to be behind the deals. And that's exactly what we've done. Not only that, you get to hang out with Brian Rose every week. And for me, that was huge because because I look at Brian as somebody who's not only an expert in the space, and I think is on the leading edge, but just the leading edge of thought with London Real and the work he's doing there. To anyone who's taking a serious look at this, I know it's a big decision. It was a big decision for me and my family, and it is one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I wish you all the best and hope you come join us.
All right, we liking Chris? We liking those vibes? Yeah, it's all good. Look, everyone in that club is amazing. We just had a new member join today. Everybody in the group is welcoming him. They're sending him direct messages. Welcome to the club. What can we do? How can we help you? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, Martini, if people weren't going over to his house and bringing him casseroles and things like that. It's crazy. One of our investment club members, his name is Camille, and he took the position of educating everybody in the group about anything that they don't understand in blockchain and deals. And we had a new member join recently named Dr. Austin. He's from Ireland. He's 71 years old, and he was holidaying down in Portugal. And Camille said, guess what? I'm going to help you with your technology. I'm not going to do it on a Zoom call. I'm going to drive over and hang out with you. And so they just spent, a couple hours hanging out, talking crypto. He set his whole desktop up. Dr. Austin took Camille out to lunch. And that's not even weird for our club. It's just normal, right? Dr. Yvette came to Toronto, right? Her two twins, she needed someone to look out for them. So Mary Douglas from our course looked after her kids while Dr. Yvette came to the consensus conference with me. I can't make this stuff up, Martini. It is a family. People take care of each other and the vibes are good, but everybody wants you to win. They're not like your friends and family who laugh at you, Cindy, when you tell them you want to make money in crypto. These people are like, yeah, let's get some. Let's do it now. Folks, it only takes one. One of these deals can change your life forever. The question is, do you have one? Do you have two? Do you have three? I recommend you need 6 to 8 deals to go through this cycle. So just make sure that you do. Final takes, folks, don't let this year pass you by. You missed half of it. I'm telling you, you're going to snap your fingers. It's going to be New Year's. The crypto bull runs over and you missed it. You've got to take massive action now. You can thank me later, and you will thank me. You can learn early stage investing now, and what I teach you, you can use the rest of your life. Remember what I said, if you buy a token on an exchange right now, someone like me has already taken 50x out of it. It's too late. You have to go early stage for the big money. And of course, this is your chance to learn from active elite investors for only $50,000. That's nothing. I know guys like Dan Tapiero. He runs $1 billion fund. If you asked him to teach you how to invest in crypto over the next 10 years and give him access to all the deals that he saw for 50 grand, he would laugh you out of his office. He wouldn't do it for $500,000. He wouldn't. They're too busy. But we offer that incredible value. And yes, it's a significant investment. I understand that it is, but that is going to get you unlimited financial returns, something you're not going to find anywhere else. Now, thanks to Martini, we have a payment plan. So for 10K a month for 6 months, you're in. What does that mean? If you have limited capital now, you could pay 10K payment to get into the club. You could put 5K on crypto nights, 5K on one football, and bam, you got tokens in 30 days and you're off to the races. This only happens at this point in the crypto cycle, folks. Martini, I try to explain to people, you're coming in at the very best time to invest in crypto. You couldn't do this a year ago. You couldn't do this 2 years ago. You couldn't do this 3 years ago. It only happens in year 4 of the cycle, and that's where we are right now. So you're lucky you're here, but you're only lucky if you do something about it. And of course, this gets you the best deal flow in the world. Folks, remember what Warren Buffett said, the best investment you can make is in yourself. He's talking about you getting in the right room with people. And yet most of you would never pay to be surrounded by great peers, but it's probably the thing you should pay for the most. Don't pay for the education. Don't pay for the degree. Pay to be around winners, and you're going to start winning. And of course, there's only one way to join. That's to book a call with Martini. Don't be scared. She doesn't bite unless you really mess with her. But this is the best way. This is the only way. She's the gatekeeper. She's the one that's kept our community amazing for the last 4 years. And she's only going to allow people in that contribute to the vibe. And like I said, we're not looking for billionaires with MBAs and crypto connections. That's not what we need. We have that stuff. We want people with the same vision with us, with the same mission. We want people who want to go get it and change the world. If that's you and you're serious about joining, book a call with Martini. And of course, folks, if you want to join, starting Monday is our 4-week course for crypto. It's a much lower price point. It'll get you from zero to hero and all things Bitcoin and blockchain. The price point is like $999. It's super cheap. It's discounted by 60%. 8 hours of live calls with me. We got a triple tiered accountability system, dedicated coaches and team leaders. It's an amazing, amazing course. And you're pre-approved for that right now at londonreal.tv/buy. You'll literally be on a call with me on Monday, and we'll get you through the basics. You can also look at deals while you're doing this, so it's a perfect time to do it. Folks, my last question is, what is your why? Why are you here on this planet? What is it all about? You know what? I got this crazy story, Martini. My boys were here a few days ago. And if you've ever been to London Real Studios, we have these bulldogs, right? There are these silver bulldogs that are like our theme, okay? And Damon was messing around on one of the sofas, and he accidentally kicked the bulldog in the face, and its face like shattered, and there's pieces of bulldog everywhere, right? And they're freaking out. They're like, Dad's gonna kill me, blah, blah. One of them's like FaceTiming mom and like, blah, blah. And I don't know what's going on. I walk out, I'm like, what's going on? And like, Damon's crying, and Caden's freaking out. And they're like, Dad, you're gonna be so mad. You're gonna be so mad. And I sat down and I looked at the pieces and I said, guys, at the end of the day, this is just stuff. And they looked at me funny, like, what do you mean? This is just stuff. I said, the dog is stuff. You know, the houses is stuff. The pretty things is stuff. I said, there's one thing that matters. And that's us. It's you guys. That's me. Nothing else matters. And they looked at me really funny. And it's ultimately true. Like, why are we here? We're ultimately here for the people in our lives that we have to look after. That's ultimately what matters. And so for me, when I'm having a tough day, when I'm struggling, when I don't want to take risk, I know I need to take, I just think, why am I doing this? And it's ultimately to protect and to provide for these guys. And that's why I do what I do every day. And I'm smart enough now, after learning for 50 plus years, to realize it's not going to happen when I take the path of least resistance. It's not going to happen when I play it safe. The only way I can create is if I take those risks. And so if you've got people in your life, if you've got a family or a future family, if you're thinking about your parents in 10 or 20 years, or even yourself in that time, you've got to go ahead and take those risks to create that future that you want. And so think about, what is your why? Why are you doing this? If you can connect with that, these other decisions, they're so easy. They're so easy, in my opinion. Folks, this is the video I promised you at londonreal.tv/bonus. You can go watch that. It'll show you how to find the hottest crypto presale tokens. Also, come to our next call. It's on Thursday. Reach out to Martini, send her a message now. She'll get you an invite. Or go to londonreal.tv/club call and join us. It's so much fun. It's like Shark Tank. Yeah, some of the terms will go over your head, but you'll get the vibe and you'll be really good at it. You'll be surprised. That's it, folks. I'd love to answer some questions. Was that helpful, Kate Jones? Was that helpful, Kate Dixie? Was that helpful for everybody? I hope so. I really appreciate everybody having their cameras on. Was that helpful, Henry? I hope so. I know we lost Martini briefly. I know you had a call with someone that wants to join, but I know you're back, Martini. Would love to get your thoughts. You've spoken with probably thousands and thousands of people, and you've onboarded 150 people over the last 4 years. And you probably understand most people's motivations. Love to get your thoughts.
Yes, absolutely. Well, great call from what I definitely heard. And yes, I did have to hop off for a little bit to welcome one of our newest members, which was absolutely a fabulous call to have. But in really just taking a look at, you're right, Brian, I have talked to about thousands of people from all over the world with different walks of life, as well as, you know, different economic backgrounds, but just people who couldn't be more different. And yet the common theme or the common thread with every single call that I have is that people are wanting to make a difference. They're wanting to make a difference for themselves. They want to take care of their families. They want to take care of their loved ones, and they want to leave a legacy, and they want to leave something behind that really, you know, shows their mark that they've made in this life through their children, through their grandchildren, or whoever else. So it's really, if I could really take a look at it, it's people who care. They care about the world. They care about how things turn out. They care about the future, and they are willing to make the sacrifices, and they're willing to make the investments, and they're really willing to do whatever it takes to ensure that the world is a better place and every single one of us has a better future. And that's one thing that I definitely love about the community that we have. Well over 150 people from all over the world who really care about one another. We care about the success of one another. Like you said, Camille will just hop hop in the car to go see one of our newest members. I have people who come to see me in Vegas. I've flown out to see some of our members and such. And so it's really not just about the money, but it's about the connection. It's about the care. It's about what the wealth will bring. So it's not just about the money. It's really about the connection of all of us. And we are all one here. And so it does take money to do all of that, right? And whatever dreams and whatever intentions that you have in the future, please understand that it does take money to do that. And so what we're offering inside of the investment club is a way to really do that in a way that's going to bring substantial wealth to you. Okay, so we are giving you the opportunity to invest in early stage companies that are basically here to change the world. We're not investing in alcohol. We're not investing in tobacco. We're not investing in the bad AI. We are investing in companies that are really wanting to do good for the future, right? And support us in creating wealth along the way. So it's a great reward, I would say, in really investing in the future. So if this is your jam and you are looking into joining us inside of the investment club, we definitely want to support you in that. So I put some links inside of the chat below. The very first link is for you to go ahead and check out the investment club page. And that's going to give you a rundown detail of what the investment club is all about, where we see ourselves going for the next 10 years plus together as a community. And you'll also get to take a look at the caliber of companies that we've invested in so far. And then the next step is when you are ready to go ahead and pull the trigger and actually join us now and start investing alongside us now and really start to really connect with these amazing people who are going to be here to support you. The next step is to go ahead and schedule a call with me. But as Brian says, I only want to talk to people who are serious, and serious means that you are ready to join us now, but you just got a few questions, and I really just want to connect to make sure that we have the right people inside of the group. If you don't see a time that's available on my calendar, please be sure to go ahead and send me a private message on Facebook Messenger. That's always the fastest way to get me. Or you can send me an email at martini@londonreal.tv and let me know who you are, where you're from, and the best time to get a hold of you within your time zone, and we'll definitely make it work. And then for the last thing here, I know that Brian does a great job of explaining what the investment club is, and you can definitely sense his enthusiasm and his fire that he has for our amazing community, which is rightfully earned. But we want you to experience us in real time, all right? So it's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing for you to really be hands-on and experiencing our community. So the last link there is for you to join us on one of our actual investment clubs club calls where we come together on Mondays and Thursdays of every week, where you'll see live CEOs coming to pitch their companies over to us. You'll see Brian doing the Shark Tank style, and then you'll see how our amazing community comes together to decide on whether or not they want to invest in these amazing deals. One thing that I have found is that we don't have to do it alone anymore. And having the power of community, having the power of people who are there for your highest and best good is truly invaluable. So we hope to see you on the inside soon. And back to you, Brian.
Amazing stuff. Thank you, Martini. Give it up for her and book a call with her and have that discussion. It's such an important one to have. And yeah, we got a crazy community, that's for sure. And I forgot you've been flying everywhere. I met so many of them as well. And yeah, it's just great when we get together. I mean, we just had a big dinner in Toronto and just the vibes were just amazing. Also, the vibes of the partners of the community are just as amazing as well. So when the husbands and the wives come, it's just everybody's on the same frequency, which is a very rare and beautiful thing to happen. So look, I'm doing some great jamming here with Cade and Maxime and a bunch of others. So thank you for the feedback. And we'll definitely be talking. Look, the Crypto and DeFi Academy starts Monday. It's a really great basic course, and there's a lot of touch points with me and Martini. And it's also a great place for people just to learn the basics and just start to get a feel for what it's like behind the scenes. We encourage those people to even come in and take a peek at the investment club calls as well. And so it's just a great way to understand the ecosystem, and the price point is really low. And you're going to need these basics anyways set up, the wallets and the exchanges to do anything in crypto. And within 4 weeks, you can be basically completely finished with that. And I highly recommend just grabbing that. It's a no-brainer. Everybody loves that course. The reviews are off the charts, and we graduated thousands of people. So definitely jump on that and then book a call with Martini and talk about this investment club. We've just had a few members join, and they're just loving it being on the inside. And they know it that now is the time, folks. The next 3 months of crypto are going to be absolutely explosive. And so just make sure you're involved and you're invested, and don't look back and regret it, is what I would say. That's it, folks. Thank you so much for your attention. I always appreciate the energy and the cameras on. Kate, thank you so much for that. And Maxime and everybody else, and Kate Jones and Kate Dixie, both of you, and Lul. It really means a lot and fuels me. And come tomorrow, it's 6 p.m. UK time start for the investment club. I just saw the deal. It's hot. We'd love to see you there as well. All right, folks, that's it. Bless. Bye. The mass scale transformation of humanity, the fully empowered, conscious, and cooperative species. It's something we live and breathe. We have a mission here. We want to help build the decentralized finance infrastructure of the future. What is your mission? Hey, it's Brian Rose from London Real. How would you like to join my investment club, where I teach you everything you need to know about early stage token and equity investments? Look, right now is one of the greatest times to invest in human history. We've got AI happening. We've got the metaverse that will be built on AI, and all of this needs the blockchain, which is what we specialize in here. In my investment club, it's a 12-month program, 3 months of coursework where I teach you all the basics. I want to talk about how capital isn't enough, and I want to talk about how you can upgrade your arsenal of influence in a variety of ways. I teach you how to do basic due diligence. I teach you how to go to a conference and come back with 10 deals. Just go in, bam, 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 bam. This is super exciting, and we're able to do this here at London Real because I speak with some of the greatest guests on the planet. We have an amazing network, and we also have a structure to actually invest money in these deals. Just as a strategy in your business, just keep it simple, especially the first time you do it, but do it at the same time. I'm telling you, this is an incredible opportunity. I've got the best community in the business right now, 75 people from around the world in over 20 countries that are alongside, all investing together. And you can learn and network with the best in the business. No decision is much worse than a no. Something, action, action, action. The clock is ticking. If you're interested in this, click a link below and set up a call with one of my team. They'll walk you through what's happening, the opportunities, the requirements. But I plan on working with this group for the next 10 years, and we're going to do massive things here. And I hope you are a part of it. Click on the link and let's do this.